Hi, I'm Grady Kalainen, the CapeCod.com News Center, and welcome to Sunday Journal. I'm joined today by co-founder and executive director for Love Live Local, Jen Villa. Thank you so much for joining me for this conversation.
Thanks for having me.
So we have a lot of holiday conversations that I wanted to talk about today. We're going to hit them all. We have a few things that are going to be kicking off with like Black Friday around the corner. That's kind of the onus that we're trying to focus on today. But we also have general holiday stuff going into December. So first we have a new gift guide that you guys have just produced. We're also going to touch on the 11th annual Holiday Local Fest and some of the partnerships going on there. So stay tuned. And all that is also tied in with the Shift Local pledge that you guys are known for. It's now in its second year, I believe. So we're going to hit all that stuff. But first things first, do you mind showing us off and telling us a little bit more about this new Love Local gift guide that you have for people looking to get some gifts this year?
Yes, absolutely. Fresh off the local press, as we like to say. Sunderland Printing has been an amazing printing partner for Love of Local, as well as many of our nonprofits and companies on Cape Cod. They're great to have a local printer here on the Cape. This is our 10th? No, this is one of our many gift
One of
guides,
many.
2024 Love Local gift guide with over 100 gift recommendations and nearly as many local stores. So it's an amazing opportunity. You're looking to find something for that special someone on the Cape, and we're giving you the tools to do so. We've got great advertisers, ad partners that work with us, but it's really a labor of love trying to connect our community with the local businesses to, not shop online, shop with your friends and neighbors, get those special, unique gifts. The Cape has incredible stores really for everybody on your shopping list. So we love being able to provide this for everyone. We have it in digital form, and it's being distributed as we speak throughout the Cape. So many of your favorite local coffee shops, local boutiques, all of our advertisers have a stash of these coming your way for the gift guide. So people say it's like their great little Bible for the holiday season. We like to say the ultimate guide to shopping local here on Cape Cod.
Yeah, and of course, this is with like Black Friday right around the corner. We've spoken before. I mean, I think in recent years, Black Friday as like a concept has kind of cooled a little bit as it's gotten a little bit away from its original kind of intention of just trying to getting out of the red. But it still is obviously a big pseudo holiday for America at large. And then we also have Cyber Monday, which I actually wanted to ask a little bit more about if that really is impacted for local businesses or not. But you've mentioned before that like a lot of the money that ends up like leaving Cape Cod, it just doesn't really come back. Do you mind kind of giving us the rundown, either with statistics or anecdotes about shopping local?
Oh, absolutely. So shopping online brings $0 to our local economy. We do want to point out that a lot of your favorite local stores, we found this doing the gift guide as well, now have incredible online stores for their own stores. So you can peruse and purchase online at your favorite local shops and either do local pickup or even do delivery. So that's one great thing that's happened with our local retailers is they've really upped the ante on the technology. So that convenience factor is no longer an issue. It can be convenient to shop local. But we always want to let people know that when you're shopping on Amazon, when you're shopping at a large retailer that isn't based on Cape Cod, 0 of your hard-earned dollars are coming back to the Cape. When you shop at a local store, 3 to 5 more times of that money spent is going right back into your economy. So you're directly supporting your local community when you are shopping local, which is a huge part of the Shift Local pledge that we launched last year. This is going to be our second annual Shift Local pledge, where we're asking the Cape Cod community to shift just 10% of their gift buying purchases to small businesses. Not asking you to spend more money, just saying, okay, say you have this is your budget for the year. Can you shift 10% of your spending to locally owned businesses as opposed to corporate retailers or e-commerce online, large corporations? We have a great little commitment to shift local. The pledge, we actually launched it today.
For our listeners on the radio end, they have a full poster. It's bigger than her body. It takes up the entirety of the Zoom camera that we're using. It's that I plunge to shift my spending to small businesses this season. Shift local, lovelivelocal.com. A lovely baby blue. We're ready to go. Got the Cape Cod chick going on. But yeah,
Absolutely.
and that's the second year. So we did. What was there success last year? Are you able to
Yes.
track that pledge really? I mean, how does that work?
Yes. So last year was the first year we launched it. It was an amazing response. And I think people really were able to attach to the concept of let's just shift a little bit of your spending, and they could get behind the specific directive. So last year we had 166 participants. So 166 Cape Cod community members. You sign the pledge. 62% of the spending was shifted to small businesses. So we asked them to shift 10%, but in fact, 62% of people's budgets were switched to local businesses. 309 different small businesses were reported as being supported. So 309 different stores were listed by the participants as being where they shopped, and over $177,000 were invested essentially into the local economy by this spending at local businesses. So we felt like that was a huge success and something to build off of. And we just loved, being able to have people get on board with the mission and with the work. And it's pretty easy. You basically sign a pledge, fill out a form, and then we kind of give you tips along the way. You get some direct emails about the Shift Local Pledge. And then at the very end of the holiday season, we just ask you to give us some information. You don't need to provide your specific receipts. We're trying to make this as easy as possible for people to be able to complete the task. So we go off your word on how much you were spent. We ask you to list some or all of the stores that you supported so that we can really have that data and show the impact. Because at the end of the day, the impact is what's really powerful, right? We talk about these things and why it's important. And it's not just buzzwords, it's true impact. I mean, we've talked about for years, if all of Cape Cod shifted 10% of their spending to local retailers, we would put an additional $112 million in the Cape Cod economy every year. So those are insane numbers that are real and based on research reports and specific data for Cape Cod. So it's not just a phrase. It's really a powerful way to make an impact in your community. And at a time when people are trying to do the best that they can do for their environment, for their family, for the place that they call home. And we know Cape Cod is very special and very vulnerable. And these choices make a huge difference. We always just say, please think local first. That's your first starting point, and then you go from there.
Hmm. And now, as well, outside of profits, I mean, it also supports local jobs, I would imagine, too. That's also the local workforce.
Absolutely. The employment is huge. You're providing stability and strength within a small business to be able to grow, expand. We want these small businesses to not only survive, because that's sometimes where we're at, right? This survival, but we want them to thrive. And then they can therefore impact in a greater way, the health of our community and our economy.
Hmm. Is Black Friday well, I mean, that's kind of the holiday shopping season kind of begins in November. But I also hear about Cape Cod is obviously absolutely rocking in the summer, so I don't really hear as much about the wintertime. But is that holiday season really that important for Cape Cod businesses?
100%. I mean, we having retail, even Love Live Local, and both, Amanda, myself, when we co-founded Love Live Local, we were small business owners that had retail shops, and December was one of our biggest months. It's a time where people are really spending the money on gifts and items. So it is definitely a spike for retailers. December is, late November into December is huge for local retailers. And it's pretty impressive how well, our businesses can do this late after the summer. It's a testament to the quality of items, but we do have to remind people that don't click, that tempting link that's coming up through your phone, through your Instagram, and really try to pause on that convenience that's just in your face and think about getting something unique, getting something meaningful, and something that's going to, like we say, a small business owner does a little dance every time they sell something. When you're buying something on Amazon, the dancing is not happening.
I have trouble picturing Jeff Bezos doing a funny little
Look,
dance.
we don't even want to go there. So yeah,
I
absolutely. And
well, the Amazon bad blood that I can only imagine from Love Live Local, but we'll get the juicy gossip later, I'm sure, Jen. Thank
exactly.
you very much. I guess do we also want to chat about we got of course, the Love Local fests that happen on a semi-quarterly basis. Is it three or four that happen a year,
Yeah,
actually?
3 a year. So we
Yeah.
do the Love Local Fest in July and September, as well as the Holiday Fest in December. So July and September take place at Azleton Park. And I think our last September was our 42nd Love Local Fest. So we've done 42 of these since we started. And the Holiday Fest takes place at the Hyannis Village Green. And this will be our 11th annual holiday fest. We started that like 1 year after we started the summer fest. And here's our beautiful poster to continue our beautiful branding for the fest.
Jen,
We
you
have
have come prepared for this one.
yes,
I'm
I've got
loving
the
it.
props.
I
Very
have the
important.
props for the listeners on the radio side. It's going to be Saturday, December 7th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And there are flyers around. Of course, you can check lovelivelocal.com as well. But it's a lovely, this one's a lovely light green. So we're really rocking the different color choices for the branding. And a hot pink. My goodness, this one's a candy cane, pink and white. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, all the different events going on, ending with the Harbor Boat Parade, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the Hyannis Harbor. Very interesting. Yeah, actually, do you mind giving us the quick rundown of what people can expect for this weekend?
Absolutely. Yes. So
Not
this
this weekend. I misspoke. It's gonna
yes,
be
for
December
this
7th is when this all
this
kicks off.
holiday festive extravagant weekend that's coming up. So December 6th and 7th, it's Friday and Saturday. This is the second year that Love Live Local and the Love Local Fest have partnered with Hyannis Main Street and the town of Barnstable, Cape Cod Maritime Museum on this Hyannis holiday weekend. So it's a great destination for off Cape for locals to really just lean into the magic Hallmark movie that's happening. So we have the Love Local Fest on the Village Green with 120 local vendors, a shopping extravaganza. You can literally buy everything off your list here. In addition to the Hyannis Main Street Stroll, which is a lovely, charming Main Street stroll with Santa and kids' activities and the shops all participating. In conclusion, with the illuminated boat parade at the Hyannis Harbor, which is just pure holiday joy. And it's really a great combined effort with all the organizations to create something special, in Hyannis this time of year and really celebrate what makes it special, gathering the community and supporting our small businesses and local artists and makers.
hmm Yeah, it's also taking advantage of such a lovely, beautiful location. I mean, here we have our studio in Hyannis as well, so we're passing by all the time. And is so we have a local Santa as well. Is that also?
Yes, yes, Santa is local and will be there for Main Street for the kiddos. And I believe he makes an appearance in the boat parade as well. So that's always an exciting opportunity for the family to gather. And it's just at dusk. So it's around 4 o'clock. You can gather at the Hyannis Harbor and just really be a part of all of the holiday festivities. And like I said, the fest is a really incredible gathering of curated local artists, over 120 artists and food trucks and beer and wine. So it's a great day to come out, do the shopping, connect with one another, and be a part of something.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, 40 seconds. So is there, so this year, I'm assuming, does it get easier, Jen, or when it comes to organizing, or is that just like a wishful thinking thought on my behalf to
Ever
put
so,
together?
ever so slightly. I mean, obviously, we have great systems in place, having done 42 festivals. The Holiday Fest is a large undertaking, and it's only our third year in this specific location. So it is still, kind of putting all the pieces together. It's labor intensive. And one thing to note is these are, free community events, but for the Holiday Fest, we do ask for a suggested donation at the door to go towards our work as a nonprofit for small business advocacy. We give direct grants, free education to our small businesses. And this is sort of a fundraiser for us to be able to continue to do the work. So there's more online about that, but there is a suggested donation at the door, which just helps create these events ongoing, as well as our efforts in this advocacy work that we do for our beloved and special small businesses.
Yeah, so I'll get into the details of data and statistics right here as well. But do you mind? Can we run down some of the services that you guys provide year round in terms of the impact you have as a local nonprofit advocating for small businesses? I know we had the digital expansions for a lot of the some Main Street businesses that has been like a huge development ever since COVID and the world decided that the cyber shopping is just the way to go. Speaking of, we have Cyber Monday coming up soon. I also want to ask a little bit about how that kind of impacts some of the local businesses if they're now more concerned about Cyber Monday than they might have been before. But can you give us a quick rundown of some of those ways that you're helping out some local communities?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've given nearly $300,000 out in small business grants. So that's direct funding to our small businesses. It started with our Cape Cod Resilience Fund during the pandemic and has since falling into our local business boost program, where we work with local businesses on what they need to expand and grow their businesses. So not only are we providing them with the funding, we're also acting as a case manager to connect them with a website designer or talk them through a new POS system. things that do interior design for their brick and mortar, working with like facade upgrades. So we're, giving that direct support financially and that mentor one-on-one guidance. We provide free education. We have a Boost Your Brand workshop series that we've done, providing free marketing, design, event pop-up guidance in a classroom setting, and that's been wonderful. We have the publications that does our advocacy work, as well as just reminding our community on a daily basis why it's important to shop local and how to do it, and kind of putting our small businesses at the forefront for all of our community to keep them in mind. So we're really proud of the work we do, and have plans to continue to grow it, in addition to the festivals, our retail location, the publication, and that small business support. So it's a labor of love. We have a small team of two trying to manage all of the work, and we have about 8,500 small businesses on the Cape. So we've got a lot of people that we're fighting for.
hmm Now, you don't need to name names, but in my own experiences of trying to get like a phone in my grandmother's hands and stuff like that, when COVID rolled around, was there some local businesses that were like, do you have some horror stories of like, oh, they don't even know how to use Facebook, or like, oh, wait, you're cash only? Like, have you ever used a credit card for your business, or has there been somebody that you don't need to name, but maybe was there some stories of like who was the most behind the times, or was there some technology that you were like, whoa, I didn't even know anybody on Cape still used this? Like, what was the most, I guess, let's phrase it as the biggest success story when it comes to maybe helping out some local businesses?
Yeah, I think everyone is so unique. I think there's some very successful businesses that are still doing things in a very, what we call, archaic way, but they have a beloved rapport with their customers, and they have a system that works for them. And I think the businesses are just so unique in their needs, which is also why we feel like there's an organization like Love of Local is important, so we can meet people where they are, and the diverse range of small businesses, from not only, our retailers and restaurants, which we can all understand. It's also the service providers. We were able to do a research report on service providers, and we're able to bring them to the table, where they're sometimes left out in the shop local conversation, where it's your local, your gyms, and it's like going to a locally owned gym or fitness, like a yoga studio, that matters, as opposed to like doing Peloton online or going to a big corporate, chain, as well as TurboTax versus like your local tax professional. Like all these choices that we make in our day to day truly make an impact. And it's not just when you're, shopping local, walking through a boutique stores. It's really in all of your purchasing. We make purchases all day long, all year long. And again, it goes back to that think local first. Is what I'm buying, could I potentially be purchasing this locally, and then getting a rapport with someone that lives in my community, or supporting somebody that lives truly as our friends and neighbors. I think it's just a mental shift that, sometimes people just need a reminder. And we always talk about, like, it's progress, not perfection. We're not asking you to change your entire world and your perspective overnight. We're just asking you to like try to pause and maybe replace. It's back to the 10%. Can you just replace 10% of your spending and think of a small business, because the impact is powerful.
hmm we're in a very we're in danger of having the conversation twist entirely into the subscription model for treadmills that I've been seeing a lot as of late, or and other such things. A subscription for my light bulb that I ordered recently, trying to get a colored system going.
Oh
But
yeah.
anyway, you already actually mentioned it as well. I mean, even the Love Local gift guide. You mentioned that it was published through a local publisher, a local printer, which was
Right. So,
something that I don't even think many people would think of as like who did this paper.
yes, exactly. So Sunderland Printing is this secret, not secret, this gem in our community that, when you walk in their space, they have the thank you cards from every organization that you want to respect on Cape Cod. Like, they are the secret angels behind the scenes, that are providing mailers, posters, business cards, flyers. They make this magazine for us. They have printing press that, these businesses are going away, as we know, and being replaced by corporate giants that have lower pricing. And so it's really important to think of those things, like when you're ordering a business card, there is a local person that can do that for you, probably at a better price than online. They'll talk you through the design. You're not going to have any errors. It's a big deal. again through every single one of those choices. And sometimes convenience doesn't have to be the problem. Like it can become as convenient and meaningful to make those shift those purchases to a local provider.
Mhm. Now, I think we might be the only last topic we have time for, but I wanted to ask how the erosion of the off-season and on-season concept has gone. These past few years, we've been seeing this like widening of the shoulder season, but I'm kind of wondering if we're reaching a point where it's just going to blend into this amorphous, like Cape Cod is just sort of always on now, and I wasn't sure if like is this that year? Like how have things been from local businesses? Do you have any anecdotes? How has this fall been in review, essentially, as we're kind of getting ready for December?
Yeah, I think we're not quite there. It's
With that.
definitely, I think the extension of the season is real, and we've spoken about that, and we know a lot of people are talking about, that September, the second summer, the local summer. That's a real thing, and I think we're getting some good numbers, some good traction. I have spoken about the challenges with that, where you have that shift of staffing and fatigue from the businesses, yet the demand is a bit still there, further. So it's like catching up with the cadence from, like, we have to kind of catch up with the demand as business owners. But I think there's some still serious challenges with the dip in the shoulder season. And then that after maybe this hopefully holiday push, depending on your industry, if you're not closed for the season or depending on what you provide as an offering, know that you're going into January where you're going to need all the reserves that you can get. And the cost of doing business is just, increasing. So I do feel like we've made such strides, love, live local, a community, as a nation, in terms of shopping local and why it matters. And the information is out there. We've come a long way, but sometimes it feels like we're still just sliding back. And just in terms of all of the accessibility online through our phones and on the computers, where they're just, so much money is being spent pushing things onto our consumers. It's really hard to compete with that. So, some ways you feel encouraged, by extended season, and we're so special, Cape Cod. But when you do talk to some small business owners, it can be a little bit hard and it's scary a little. It is, we're not in the clear, just being incredibly successful, in this seasonal economy and just our general economy where things are challenging. I think everyone feels it personally. And then, when you add being a small business owner, it layers on top of that.
Sure. Excuse me, we're about coming up on time, unfortunately, but thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. Just as a quick recap, do you mind giving us a rundown of when the holiday events are going to be hitting, and for people who want to learn more, where they can head online, essentially?
Perfect. So yes, be on the lookout for the 2025 Love Local gift guide, available at your favorite shops and coffee shops and boutiques, as well as online at lovelivelocal.com. And then please join us for our Hyannis Holiday Weekend and Love Local Fest, which is Friday and Saturday, but Saturday is the Love Local Fest. December 7th at the Hyannis Village Green, 120 local artists, an amazing day to be out with the family, shopping and celebrating the community. And please check out the Shift Local Pledge at lovelivelocal.com and be a part of the movement, and just support Cape Cod when we need it most.
All right, awesome, Jen. Thank you. For our listeners as well, we'll have a link to Love Live Local about these events in the description of this segment up on capecod.com. So if people are looking for that as well, it'll also be available there. So, Jen, thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate the support.
I'm Grady Collane in the capecod.com News Center. Thank you for listening to Sunday Journal.